Oh boy, I did a little bit late this time. 11 p.m. on the 9th, which means it's a Sunday, and it's time for me to react to another chapter of One Piece. So where we last left off last time, I believe we ended with the dummy Reversi taking full hold of Roxy Zebek, or Davy D. Zebek, whichever we're going by. Or is it Roxy Davy? I forget. I gotta go back and check. Anywho, he's begging Garp and Roger to kill him. So, we're gonna jump straight into it. Anywho, we do these pretty much weekly, every Sunday. We go live on Twitch TV/Sheet Streams, and the best way to stay informed on what I'm doing and when I'm doing it is to join the Discord. Links to which are where links are. You know, I haven't been asked this yet specifically, but I feel like it warrants some talking about it. The reason I always say links are where links are is because A, I assume that the people who watch my videos are a lot more intelligent and don't need to be told where to go to look. And also because, depending on which format you're watching this in, the links are actually in a different spot. If you're watching this on Twitch, the links are on my About page, because I don't have like a video description with links you can click. Now, I believe my Twitch page does have links to like my Discord and my other socials. I should take my Twitter off of it. I forgot to do. Did I take my Twitter off it? I gotta check. Oh, it's been so long since I've looked at my own Twitch page. But on YouTube, I put it in the description. And on some of my shorter form content where I put an end card, the end card will literally just say links in the description. So there's no point in me saying the links are in the description when I'm just going to put that in the video in post anyway. So that's just a little bit of a insight into my personality, a little bit of a behind the scenes on how I run things around here. But yeah, that's enough of that. We're going to be a little bit pressed for time today, so we're going to jump straight into the chapter proper. So, today's chapter is 1165, Reverberations. Which is definitely implying that whatever's going to happen in this chapter is going to have ripples that of which the entire world will feel. And considering this, where we left off is basically all we knew at the God Valley incident when we first learned about God Valley, was that Roger and Garp teamed up to face off against the Rocks Pirates. And now we're finally getting to see that team up. Cover page is just another reader request. It says, Beppo's sleeping on peacefully using Zeus as a pillow. And Oda has taken his own liberty here and it also has Law using Beppo as a pillow. There's a little bit of a pillow chain there. Anyway, that's everything that's on page 1, so we're going to move on, because there's no page 1 on page 1. Yes, I'm still using that joke, even though I said I would not do it again. Alrighty, page 2 and 3. Oh, that's right, we're still in this really long Loki flashback. So we have the black paneling. Alright. Roger and Garp are still coping with the fact that they're hearing voices in their heads. I hear voices in my head all the time. They tell me to subscribe to various channels on YouTube. Wants them to kill him. Words and attitude. Expression. A lot of action panels here. Wind up for a swing. Close-up of a sword. Followed by a swing that Roger barely blocks it looks like, to be honest. But it's hard to tell because there's no movement in the paneling. Its word, his attitude, and expression are all telling me different stories. Garp has no qualms. Punches him in the face. Never change, Garp. Never change. And that's the end of page 2 and 3 because page 2 has some decent dialogue, but then page 3 is like 3 panels of action. So this is going to be a really bit of a short video. I was wondering if this is going to be 30 to 45 minutes, but if we keep getting heavy action chapters, of which I am very vocal about not liking action chapters, because it causes the actual plot to move to a snail's pace, so that we can waste panelage just to make some semblance of movement. Like, we get one panel of Garp winding up his fist, and then one panel of a fist inside of Zebek's face. When, could have just thrown a panel of Zebek's face. This could have just been one panel with Garp fully in frame and his fist into Zebek's face. We didn't need to see a wind-up and a throw. Whoa. Anywho, that's enough complaining about action sequences. There's going to be more of them, and I will have more opportunities to complain about action. I'm a story guy first. Action is for the animation. You can have fights, but unless you do something to make the fight, like, interesting to me on a mental scale, then I'm not going to be super interested in guy throws punch, punch has impact, and did it do damage? Yes, no. Pages 4 and 5. Alrighty, so let's see. We just got a close-up of the fist in the face, and then another wide shot of the fist in the face. This is the same punch still, which means we have now dedicated 4 panels across 2 pages to this one punch. And I'm not entirely sure what's happening in these other panels. It looks like Zebek is putting hockey into his sword, and is now repelling both of them back. And this action has taken 1, 2, 3, 4 panels, and then a 5th panel of it causing a shockwave that is reverberating. And it looks like everyone on the island is feeling it. We're even cutting to Marines off the shore that are feeling it. Speaking of Marines off the shore, is Dragon still on this island? Has he left yet? Is he still coping with the fact that he couldn't save a child? No offense. I don't think I could have saved a child in his situation. Alrighty, pages 6 and 7 now. I was just double checking because I forgot that in the last chapter, Whitebeard knocked off an entire mountain and it's not there anymore. Why does the sky look like that? It's split in half. Hey, the sky splitting effect that we always used to see. So that's what those 2 panels at the end of page 5 were. It was just 2 clouds moving apart. But it was so zoomed in that I couldn't tell at a glance. But now that I see this big wide shot of the sky, it makes it a lot more apparent. Gotta evacuate before we're all dead. Oh, Silver Axe is still alive. Let's steal the ship and get off this island. What, you mean Rox's ship? You really think he's coming back? This is the end of the Rox pirates, says Shiki. I mean, he's right, you know. Hurry to the shore. What you say, Vice Admiral Garp? Once you've got every living resident and sailor on board, shove off and get out of here. What's happening on the island, Roger? Who are these underlings? I feel like I should recognize these Marines, but I don't. Once Rayleigh and them get off to get off the coast. I will be back. Oh, so this is a parallel. That's why I didn't recognize them. Those weren't Marines. Those were the Roger pirates. Because basically Garp and Roger are simultaneously giving a snail message basically to their crews. Rox, Roger, I came here intending to arrest you both. Yeah, my plan was to steal Shaggy and the treasure and hightail it out of here. But it looks like the 2 of them have to team up after all. Instead, shall we team up for a minute? I have a number of issues with this, but I can't afford to let him run free. I don't think he's running free. I think he's here to kill both of you. He's not He was ordered to kill every living thing on the island. It looks like Garp is going to try to evacuate every living thing off the island. So that's going to work out for him. Alrighty, pages 8 and 9. We're probably at the halfway point. Oh, more action panels where I can't really tell what's going on. People moving at high speeds. People throwing sword slashes. People doing overhead swings. People doing lateral swings. Look, you've got the curse. What curse? Is there any way to break it? Oh, so Garp is thinking that he can break the curse somehow. Just wake up. Oh, now we're cutting to Ray and Shockey. Faster, Roger's gonna keep fighting until we've evacuated the island. That hockey is off the charts. Is that Gloriosa hitting Gabon? Got a spot for me on the ship, I assume? I was actually worried about her. We didn't see her in a few chapters. I was hoping she was okay. We know that she lives, because she's alive in the present, in the story. But we didn't really see how she was getting off this island, assuming she didn't just get Kuma slapped off somewhere. And that's pretty funny. And that's where we end page 9 on. Alrighty, moving to 10 and 11, I guess. If you're actually reading on the Viz Manga website, you can see the little red dot below me is roughly directly in the middle, which means on paper this is the actual middle point of the chapter. But the last 2 pages are usually ads for other Viz stuff, so it's not actually going to be more... We're not actually at the middle, we're probably past the middle already. Oh, Big Mom and Kaido are having a confrontation now. Listen up, Kaido, you owe me for the rest of your life. You're gonna make good on that. Fat chance. It was finders keepers, Lin Lin, and you lost. Actually, she did find it. If you want to be super technical. Ivankov found it, and she took it. And then Kaido took it from her. Just watch me. I'm gonna create a new crew where violence rules all. Oh, is that Stroyson? I forgot that Stroyson was here. I think we saw him in the Kuma flashback where we saw that panel of the wider shot of the rock screw. You think you're hot stuff now? Keep dreaming of the day that you'll beat me. It'll never come. Weirdly enough, I believe when Kaido and Big Mom did team up during Wano, I think that they were pretty equivalent to one another in strength. Big Mom gets downplayed a lot, but I personally think that she's not that different in terms of Kaido. I'm safe to assume that Kaido's stronger, but Lin Lin just has a much more diverse kit. Come on, Lin Lin, let's get moving. Carry this treasure. Stroyson! I'll come and collect one day, and I'll be waiting to crush your spirit. Now we're cutting back to the fight. We just see a sword slash from Zebek. And Garp and/or Roger are on the ground now. I can't tell. Cutting back to Whitebeard. You're the one that knocked down that mountain, aren't you, Newgate? Someone sitting on a silhouette on the far cliff talking to Newgate. Who are you? Looks like your crew's falling apart. Name's Graham. Captain of the Polo Pirates. Polo Graham. Oh, so this is the guy that somebody told me that I missed that was in another chapter. That clearly had Marco's fruit. So, if this is Marco... So, I'm guessing Marco's full name is Marco Graham, and this guy is Polo Graham. This is probably Marco's dad. I'm a big fan of yours. That you got no ship to go back to, huh? Team up with me instead. Get out of my hair. Where did Newgate go? Don't ask me. So Newgate's gonna probably team up with Polo Graham. And that's gonna end up how Marco ends up being the first captain. Or the first division commander. Alright. Holy, wait a minute. Is that someone using the Hollow no Mi? That's Stussy next to someone with the Hollow no Mi. Corona's fruit. Interesting. That's probably one of the most interesting things we're getting out of this flashback, is we're just seeing a whole lot of devil fruit users that we see in the current day, and so we know that they're all dead. Alright, we're finally cutting back to Dragon. Which means it's time to go to 12 and 13. Look at that red dot move at the bottom of the screen. Alright. No, what are you people doing? Did you know that what we are aiding here? Dragon. Put them on our ship right now. We have to rescue them. If anyone argues against it, I'll execute them on the spot. Okay, Dragon going against direct orders. He's gonna force people to rescue the civilians. This isn't going to end here, Dragon. It better not. Rayleigh Gaban, where are you going? You dare follow us. Take the ship out into open water and wait. Oh, now we're cutting away to Saturn. That island will never have existed. Understood. West Blue. Oh, we're in Oda boxes. The God Valley Incident. S-level top secret classification. Records of clandestine operations and special hazard pay for Naval Base G11 and Cipher Pole number 6. Registry of participants in the human hunt. Expunged. Site of event. God Valley. Island location. Area population. Details erased. Number of fatalities. Unknown. Garp, do you know about the enormous black monster the government has? And they call themselves the good guys. I can't believe it either. You're gonna quit the Navy, come join us. Don't be an idiot. If I quit, he's gonna watch out for the rank and file. And that's why Garp stayed. I figured it would be that. He wants to set up the next generation of Marines to be better than what the current Marines are. And if he quits, he can't do that. That's the end of 13. So let's go to 14 and 15. Surprisingly, not the final 2 pages. The way I have my camera and my webcam cropped is so that right at the bottom there, you'll actually see, even though I'm not showing the panels, you'll be able to see when we actually reach the end. It all comes down to mass, doesn't it, Garp? Mass, what do you mean? First of all, the color of armament is a power that doesn't yield to devil fruits. And on top of that, I was wreathed in color of the Supreme King. There's no way it couldn't have hurt him. Yeah? But he was guarding with the Supreme King too, so they cancel out. Exactly my point. There's no damage unless we surpass that. Are we literally starting to do power scaling now, Oda? Is this really the time? It's all down to who wears out first will lose. There's no way to keep up with a monster like that thing. So you want to hit him with a critical mass of Supreme King Hockey. Exactly. Don't even think about whatever stamina you could need after that. In that case, you're saying we don't come back out from this alive. We can pull this off. All three of us will be down for the count. If we miss, we're done for. So they're going to put all their hockey into a single attack. An all-or-nothing gamble. Now, Brox, I don't know what I can say to console you. I don't know what happened to you either. There's one thing I can do. I recognize your sorrow. Don't you cry, you idiot. Rox is literally crying. He's got no light in his eyes anymore, though. God of Fire, Infinitum. Are we going to get a double page spread on the final 2 pages? 16, 17. Almost a double page spread. It's a 3/4 page spread. Ace and Explosion. So is it... Yeah, it's God of Fire, Ace, and Infinitum, Explosion are the attacks. I'll let you figure out whose attack belongs to who. It's weird that the big spread is actually them throwing the attack, and then a tiny little section right about here, panel about the size of this, is just the impact of it. The world government attempted to cover up everything that happened here. The downfall of Roxy Zebek and his lawless band of followers, the Rox Pirates, who wreaked havoc on their era, cast an unmistakable reverberation that shook the very world. Chapter end. Alright. Let's get my thoughts out of the way before we move on to anything else. This more or less lives up to what we thought was going to happen. The two of them team up. Roger and Garp team up. They fight Zebek. They beat Zebek. Everything else that wasn't that in the chapter, I would consider a highlight. So let's go back through it and take a look at every single thing that was not the Zebek fight, because the Zebek fight is the boring part to me. So, page 1, Zebek fight. Page 2, Zebek fight. Page 3, Zebek fight. Page 4, Zebek fight. Page 5, Zebek fight. And sky splitting starts with a marine reaction shot. Page 6 and 7, more Zebek fight. Sky splitting, and now we're starting to get the reactions of everybody else on the island fleeing the island. Followed by the phone call back. And then the Zebek fight starts in earnest at this point. Where we get action shot, action shot, action shot, all the way to the end of page 9. Where we get a really funny panel, for me, which is this is probably my favorite panel, of just Gloriosa popping up behind Gabon. You got room for me too? I mean, it makes sense. If they're taking Shocky, they might as well take Gloriosa. Then we cut to more people fleeing. One panel is the back fight. Big Mom and Kaido's confrontation, which lines up with the flashbacks we had of them back in Wano. Polo Graham, that's probably the highlight right here. We got Marco's dad name dropped. Probably, unless it's his uncle or something. It could be his uncle or something. You never know. There's a lot of found family in One Piece. Just because this guy looks like Marco, sounds like Marco, but is actually Polo, might be a little bit of a funny hint that he's actually Marco's uncle, or his older brother, or who knows what. Marco would be like 7, I think, at the time of this flashback is happening, if I remember right. The Rox Pirates flee, and then we get, another big highlight here, actually. Dragon standing up to his superior officers and trying to save civilians. And it also shows the extreme lengths that Dragon is willing to go to just to save lives. He says he will execute anyone who argues against him on the spot. That is dark and metal AF. Then we just we get the orders from Emu that given to Saturn so that God Valley doesn't exist, and I'm surprised they managed to erase this from the history books. I think it's really easy when you think about it in retrospective, where God Valley was just never mentioned in the story up until the time skip, so it literally didn't exist as an event until then. But that's meta-narrative nonsense. You don't need to worry about that. And then we just have Zebek fight all the way up until the end, with a little bit of narration about the reverberations felt around the world. Well, I'm glad God Valley is done. Let's get into predictions. So, I think we can cut back to Herald now. I think we're done with God Valley. We more or less know everything that happens from this point onward. At least in the respects to God Valley. Kuma leaves. Maybe we cut to Eris and Teach. Maybe we do that. But they probably could save that for like a Blackbeard flashback later down the line. So I don't think we need to see that yet. I think we want to save that for some point later down the line when we start expanding on Blackbeard's flashback. Like maybe how Blackbeard ends up on Whitebeard's crew. That's an entire storyline that we more or less know how it ends, but we don't know how the 2 points connect. He got off the island with Eris. We still don't know what happened with Eris. And as far as we're concerned, that's actually a rare win for Eris. That's a mom that lived all the way through an entire God Valley flashback. She's probably going to still die later on in the Teach flashback, unless we cut to her now. But I don't feel like we need to cut to her now, and I would like to get back to the present of what's going on in Elbaph, so the less that we follow her story, the better. Because what's more important to me is we cut back to Herald, and we find out what's going on 14 years ago in the past, so that we can find out what's going on right now with the Dami Reversi fight that's happening in the present. So my big prediction is we're going to cut to Herald. Herald is definitely going to maybe get some newspaper reactions to what Herald reads about Rox's death or whatever. Maybe he hears rumors about it, and then we see his weird, uneasy alliance with the world government start to fall apart. And beyond that, I don't think I have too many more predictions. Maybe we see Dragon form the Freedom Fighters. Maybe we start to see stuff like that happen. Or maybe we finally cut to see who's attacking Mary Joa in the present. Maybe we find out about the Galula giant shipwrights. There's so many key things that we can talk about. Maybe we can find out what's going on with Brooke and Gunko, because there's definitely some sort of connection there that hasn't been expanded upon yet. And while we're still focusing on telling the stories of the past, we might as well get that done before we wrap around to the future. That being said, we're like 30-something years in the past. Brooke should be a skeleton during the time frame that the flashback is taking place in right now. Alright, so I guess with that out of the way, we're done with all of what I have to cover. We managed to yap on for 31 minutes, so we're going to end the stream here. This, as always, has become a nice little weekly ritual. I don't know if there's going to be a break week next week. It is getting close to Thanksgiving, so I wouldn't be surprised if they take a week off. We did just get like 3 weeks in a row, I think, without a break, so next week is probably going to be a break week. I could probably easily check that, but I'm not gonna. It's gonna be more important for me to just get this ready for upload, and then maybe pick an image to crop for the thumbnail. Speaking of which, for those who watch these on YouTube, I'm still using Mihawk's bathroom as the background image. it gets covered by like the text and like the little icons that I put on the screen. But for those who don't know what that image is that I use in the thumbnails for these, it's Mihawk's bathroom, because it is the scariest and funniest thing I can think of when I think of One Piece, especially in the anime, because I think it's an additive scene that's not in the manga. I wasn't reading the manga around the time of... I guess this would have been right before the time skip, where Zoro was about to start his training with Mihawk. So I guess like Sabaody? Not Sabaody. End of Summit War. I started reading the manga in Whole Cake. That's when I started reading the manga. Just a little fun fact for other people. Anyway, I'm getting off track. This is supposed to be the outro. And for those that usually just skip the video at this point, that just want to move on to whatever they're doing, the timestamps always just usually list the last little ending point. So anywho, I have no future plans for streams this week. I want to catch up on editing because I have a huge backlog of stuff I need to get through for the channel. Because like we've played through all of Luna 2 and I have not edited any of that for YouTube yet. In fact, I'm still editing the stream from before I started Luna 2. Now, because I want to space out the recordings for YouTube, here's how things are going to happen. We recently played through 11.6 hours of Honkai Star Rail just to get the story done, so that I could actually be on the internet and not be constantly placated with spoilers. So I'm editing the first part of that right now. It'll probably be 3 to 4 hours. So keep an eye out for that to show up as the next video uploaded on the channel after this one, because these don't get edited. These VODs just go straight into the YouTube playlist for anyone who wants to watch them, because they're more time sensitive, because the only people that really watch these are the people that want to either see my reaction to a chapter in a relatively timely manner, and people who are wanting to read along, because for the first 3 to 4 weeks after a chapter comes out, it is free to read. I'm reading this on the Viz website right now for free, because the 3 most recent chapters are always available on Viz for free. I can't really reiterate that anymore. But back to the channel news. We are going to be uploading, the next video uploaded after this will be part 1 of the 3.7 story for Honkai Star Rail, followed by, I'm going to edit the last video I did on Selenic Chronicles for Genshin. Then I will edit part 2 and upload the 3.7 story for HSR. Then it'll be Act 3. Probably put all of Act 3 in one video. I kind of don't wanna because put all of Act 2, so I'm gonna split that into 3 because Act 2 is like 8 hours. I have to go back and check the video files. The reason I want to basically start focusing on editing more than streaming for the upcoming weeks is for 2 reasons. One, I have a lot of assignments due for class courses. And 2, I'm starting to run out of space on my computer just from pure file size. Every, like, hour of streaming is about a gigabyte of data. So when I have, like, these 3-4 hour streams, they sometimes add up to 6-7 gigs real quick. It's about 1.5 gigs per hour. So even these are like 35 to 45 minutes, just these streams on the One Piece chapters. They get pretty big. Anywho, that's all for today. Once again, join the Discord if you want to stay informed, where I give this news to anybody who wants to know it. Or if you just want to hang out and chat or post memes, you can do that too. We also do reactions on the channel, and that's where I take requests. Just don't DM me. Because if you DM me and I don't know who you are, I assume you're a scammer, and I'm going to ignore you. I have been scammed so many times through Discord or solicited directly by people that are trying to sell me something. If I do not know who you are and you DM me, you will not be responded to. You will be ignored. You want to at me in the Discord, though, in like one of the public chats where other people can monitor what you're saying, and you can say it openly, I'll read it. Otherwise, have a nice day. Stay safe, everyone. I will see you when I see you. Stay safe. I can't believe I haven't gotten rid of this yet. No more Twitter. We're no longer linking Twitter.